Hi, I'm Shaun Reynolds.
And I'm Rachael Reynolds.
And welcome to What Was I Made For?
The podcast about doing what you love and prioritising your happiness.
While we aim to inspire, motivate and entertain you, please note that we're not licensed therapists or certified experts.
So if you're considering major life decisions like starting a llama farm or quitting your job to become a professional skydiving instructor, maybe get a second opinion.
Enjoy the show.
See, I just do what I want, do what I love. I don't wanna stop, don't wanna grow up. Just me being me, don't follow the crowd. Don't be a sheep, look at me now. But now it's time to make more, create more. Looking at the points, cause it's time to take score. Feeling like I'm grown now that I can face more. Got one question, what was I made for?
Welcome back to What Was I Made For? With me, Shaun Reynolds.
And me, Rachael Reynolds.
And Nala Reynolds, who is just strolling about the studio today.
Yeah, she's loving life.
Who do we have on today, Rach?
The lovely Jessica Bonwick.
The very, very talented Jessica Bonwick, who has become an up-and-coming makeup artist.
Yeah.
Who is doing some big things, which we were very, very impressed and proud of, because you have known Jess for a long time.
Yeah, this was a special one for me because Jess used to be one of my dance students and then became one of my interns and dance teacher, assistant, all-round help, really, at the dance school. So to now see her pursuing her passion and absolutely smashing it at such a young age.
And it's also nice for us to see it is truly what she was made for.
Yeah, it is indeed. We've just given the end of the podcast away, so...
Well, we don't even know. Did she say that? Bless you, Nala.
A really inspiring one for people maybe just starting out on their career path, actually.
Yeah, and how Jess is navigating getting jobs and just basically making it happen for herself.
Yeah, promoting herself.
So let's go. Let's get stuck in. Well, Jessica Bonwick. Prefer Jess, right? Not Jessica.
Yeah, Jess, yeah.
Jessica's what your mum calls you.
Yeah, when I've been naughty.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So we know you fairly well, but I feel like a lot has changed since we first met you all those years ago. And I'm really interested to get into that kind of like how you've become this superstar makeup artist and shooting for the yeah, but I feel like you're on like a really great trajectory, like through your career, and you're only 20, so you know. So welcome to the podcast.
And yeah, what I was really excited to get you on here for is that because you are so young, I think for a lot of the teens listening or even parents with maybe kids your age listening, to be right at the beginning of what Shaun said, like a great trajectory, is going to be so inspiring, I think. Already to know that you went on, so you were assistant teaching for me. Yeah. And then from then to where you are now already, how many years is that?
3 years.
Only 3 years. That's insane from what you're doing. But we've only seen like scratched the surface from your socials. So we're very excited to get stuck in.
Knowing you as like briefly as I do, I know Rach knows you a lot more, but you know, I would have thought back in the day you just wanted to be a dancer. Then I thought you wanted to be a singer, which I think you probably did. Yeah. And then one day Rach came back and was like, oh, Jess came in today, she's going to be a makeup artist now. And I was like, wow, okay. It's like, this girl changes like every 6 months. Yeah. But what's really lovely is you seem to have really found something that you're passionate about.
I love it so much.
Really?
Yeah, and I think you'll probably both agree with the creative aspect that like doing it, standing back and looking at your work is like the best feeling in the world. That's what I love about it the most.
Yeah.
So much. Yeah. I adore it.
That's so lovely to hear. First things first, what was your drink of choice, Jess?
It was a Coca-Cola.
Which means you're
full fat.
Full fat, yeah. I don't see full fat Coke much anymore because no one stocks it really.
Yeah. It's because we're so old, we have to look after our, like, Jess is still in her 20s. She don't need to worry about all that stuff.
Yeah. So full fat Coke. No, to be fair, nice. I approve of that. We've had some pretty boring drinks on here up till now.
Oh, wow, that's nice.
I think so. Jack had an orange juice.
Orange juice.
Sam had a green tea.
And a coffee.
And a coffee.
See, that says a lot about like
full fat
the
Coke.
demographics.
Full fat Coke is rare nowadays. I approve of that one.
Every time I get on set, someone like a runner will come over and be like, "Can I get your tea or coffee?" And I'm like, "No, thank you." And they're like, "Really?" I'm like, "I don't really drink tea or coffee." And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yes." I feel like I'm not in my tea or coffee era. I don't know if that's
you've got
because
time.
I think it will come
time.
eventually.
Yeah. Do you like hot chocolate?
Oh my God,
There you go.
I've actually bought, like, you know the little celebration packs of like all the packets, because I'll get on set and I'll be like, they'll ask if I want a drink and I'll say, "Do you have any hot chocolate?" And they're like, "No, what are you, a child?" Yes. And they're like, "No, sorry." And I'm like, "Do you have any hot water?" "Yes." "Brilliant. Well, here's my hot chocolate packet." I'll have one of those, please.
That's brilliant. I love that.
I have to.
Yeah.
And the thing is, sometimes, like, if we're filming outside and it's cold, all I want to drink is a nice hot chocolate.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Fair enough.
When we get you back for the however many, we said we'd love to have you back in like years to come, just to see and to listen back to this would be amazing.
Yeah, because you're one of the first guests we're having that is. I know you're doing really well, but you're still at the beginning of your career.
Oh my God, when you asked me to come on, I was kind of like, A, really honoured, and B, like, I actually feel like I shouldn't really, because I am like only 3 years in, like.
But I think we
it's
just
crazy.
see how much love you've got for what you're doing.
Fair
to
enough.
revisit in maybe a couple of years' time and see what's changed even then, because I mean, how long have you actually been a professional makeup artist for?
So I qualified from the academy I trained at in June 22. So 2 years ago professionally.
Yeah.
But I was doing it for about a year before that, where I trained with like a local makeup artist to do like proms and stuff, like, you know, like doing girls basically, that kind of thing, before I decided to train like properly and go into all the like sets and that business.
Before we got one of your business cards. Yeah.
Oh my God, do you remember that little
I've still got it.
She's got it up on the wall at home.
I've got it on the wall at home.
All the way back at home. All the way back at home.
You know I have.
But let's bring it right back.
Let's.
Because we always do this. We always just jump straight in and say, what are you doing? But we want to know, what did you want to do when you were tiny?
I have always wanted to do singing and dancing in some form, creation-wise. I think when I picked drama for my GCSE, at some point, because they don't do like musical theatre at schools, it's drama, and it's
just
drama
generic.
and music. And I didn't want to do music because then you've got to do like all the like playing of the instruments and stuff, and I wasn't too keen on that. I just wanted to sing and dance. They didn't do dance at my school, so I chose drama, and then I think it was like very heavily acting based, which I enjoyed, but liked singing and dancing more. So yeah, they didn't do musical theatre at high school, so I did drama, and I think acting was in the mix, and then singing and dancing, that's all I've ever wanted to do.
So when you were like really little,
Yeah.
were you like Rach, where you were just kind of dancing around the house,
Oh my God, yeah.
roping Frankie into like doing some stuff?
I actually messaged my granddad earlier and I said, "Can you send me that video of me and Frankie singing and dancing when we were younger?" Because that is all we used to do, and I'll show you later. It literally danced around the kitchen, the living room, and it would be me, because I'm 4 years older than Frankie, it would be me front and centre. Frankie would be standing behind me and I'd be like pushing her out the way, like dragging her along, like forcing her to do these dance routines
She was your
with me.
assistant.
Oh my God, yeah. I was a little diva. I've got videos of me like, all I wanted to do was be in front of a camera.
Right now.
Yeah. All I wanted to do was be in front of a camera singing and dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can totally relate.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You redheads, eh? It's always the same,
It's in the genes. So when you thought that's like what you wanted to do and what you were going to do you remember like your mum being quite supportive of that, or?
Yeah. I mean, it was never like, I didn't really have to think about it until it got to the end of high school and I was like, what am I doing next? Because until then it's kind of like, see what happens sort of thing. But always. And the thing is, it's weird because she didn't, like, nobody knew I could sing. Like, so what happened was we were in music, so this would have been pre-year 9, so probably year 8. I would have been in music class. We had to compose something and we had to have a band. We had to have a band and compose a song or whatever. And I was like, I don't really want to play an instrument. I quite like to sing. And everyone was like, oh, really? I was like, yeah, like I'll just give it a go. Sort of you know, like we all did our parts and I was singing and everyone was like, I didn't know you could sing, Jess. I was like, I didn't really either, but here we are. I just like sung in the shower and stuff. I never really knew like if I was any good. Sung in the shower, yeah, and then it eventually got to singing in this band. And then I think we entered the talent show. So it was called Oasis Got Talent. We entered that, invited all our family and friends. My mum came, like all my friends' mums were there. And yeah, it got to our act. We obviously got up, I was singing and the band was playing and stuff. And at the end, my mum was like, what the hell? Like, I didn't know you could sing. Everyone came up to me, they were like, Jess, since when, like, have you been able to sing? Because I didn't, like, tell anyone. Like, it was just, like, obviously I'd been singing, like, when I was younger around the house and stuff. My mum never thought it was serious. Like, it was just something I did. So then, yeah, it got to the end of this, like, performance and everyone was like, what's going on right now? Where did this come from?
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was crazy. So, yeah, she was always supportive, but didn't really know I was serious about it until it got to that point, really. And then I chose musical theatre for college, went to Reigate and did that, but was robbed because I was in COVID. So that was useless.
Yeah.
But
that was during college, was it?
Yeah.
So you just didn't really get to do...
I was there for September to the March, went into lockdown in the March, and then, yeah, I think came back for like the last couple of months when it all started being okay again. And that's what pushed me into makeup because I was so bored of it. I was sitting at home singing to my laptop. I was on mute as well, so no one could even hear me, dancing in my room. And I was like, if I really loved it, I would just enjoy just being here doing this. So
wait, you said you were on mute?
Yeah, like just singing to our laptop. Everyone's at home on Zoom. Our singing teacher's playing the thing and we're all just singing on mute to ourselves.
So that kind of sucked the life out of all of that stuff for you.
But how mad that if that hadn't have happened...
I know.
Would you have just...
I don't know what I would have done.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of getting to the point where everyone was applying for drama schools. And I was like, I kind of don't want to. And I don't know why I don't want to. But why do I not have the urge to, like, get some audition tapes together and, like, send... Like, I was, like, just putting it off for so long. And I think, I would be on the train with my friend Alicia every day home from school, like... What are you doing? Because I don't really know if I'm supposed to be sending stuff out. I don't really want to. Yeah, and then, I just fell out of love with it, really. But not in a way of, like, don't enjoy it anymore. Just in a, I think this isn't the right career path for me.
Sure.
Yeah.
You were
because I still love it so much.
Yeah,
and like you're going to say, you are a great performer in many aspects, but if your heart's not in it to do it all the time, then maybe it's just something you want to keep as part of your life on the side. Yeah,
and it's such a tough industry, as you know, obviously, that I think it would have just... If my heart wasn't in it, there's no way I would have got anywhere with it.
Yeah.
I think that's probably if we do get people who are younger listening to this and they're thinking they might be in a similar headspace to you, how did you then discover what you loved? Everyone
asks me this all the time and I don't have the most interesting of answers because I really don't know. Like, it just... Lockdown, I think everyone was, like, playing around with makeup because we were all bored, sitting at home. So I was like, I ordered a colourful eyeshadow palette, did some looks on myself. And I think from there, it was just, like, following makeup artists, like... well, this is cool, like, this is cool what they're doing here, following more and more and, like, discovering more and more, to the point where I was like, actually, you can do this, like, as a career. Like, obviously, people know about makeup artists because, like, girls go and get their makeup done on a Saturday all the time. Like, that's quite common. But the side of the industry I'm in sort of didn't realise, like, how, it's weird, but it just came about and I don't really remember much more about it. It just one day was like, okay, I can do this as a career. I quite enjoy it. I think that would be quite fun. Yeah. Looked into it a bit and, trained.
And the first course you did, because I remember when you were teaching for me, and I was going to say you were also an amazing teacher. Like, you definitely would have had a career there if makeup hadn't become a thing. But I remember, I can literally see us in the community centre by the table with you, like, I found this course. And it was that the first course? It was quite a short one, I thought, and it was...
The first ever course I did was a 1-to-1 with a lady in Banstead. She just does, like, makeup lessons. And so I had 4 days, 2 models a day. So 8 looks in total, and it was just learning like how to do makeup, like normal makeup for girls that go out, like glam makeup, for instance. So that was a 4-day course. Yeah, that was the very, very first thing I did in terms of any types of training. I did a few online master classes and stuff, but yeah, that was the first one I did. And then I went to Delamar.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
What's that? What is Delamar?
So that is the the academy I went to, the makeup academy, hair and makeup academy. Actually, I always class myself as a makeup artist, but I do hair as well. But
do you?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I'm not a hair stylist. Like I'm not like the best at it, but I do like what I call just like basic hair. So like if I'm doing someone on set, like it'll be like straighten their hair, curl their hair, put in a ponytail. Sure. I can't do like bridal hair, like updos and stuff. So yeah, I do hair and makeup, and you have to kind of do both to be in like the production-y side of the industry, because it's so much easier for companies to hire a hair and makeup artist. Yeah, so much easier.
I didn't realise that.
Yeah. So I do hair and makeup. So Delamar is the hair and makeup academy that I went to, and I was there for just under 6 months. Yeah, literally just under 6 months, and I literally got an industry recognised certificate. Like there was no coursework. It was just every day, Monday to Friday. I would go in, like learn something new every day, practical every day.
London?
Yeah, in Ealing, and I lived there as well for under 6 months.
Yes.
Yeah, in the student house, which was sort of my version of uni. Yeah, but yeah, so that's where I trained.
Wow.
Yeah. That's crazy, isn't it? And such a short amount of time. Like people...
You can do... So this was another thing, like, do I go to uni and do makeup? And I was, like, looking at all these courses, and I was like, they're so heavily, like, theory-based. I just want to get stuck in. Like, I just want to learn how to do it. I don't want to sit and write essays about it.
That's
like,
how I work. I just want to do the thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, I don't want to go to uni to do it. And you could do the year course at Delamar. They do a year course as well, which is the equivalent of university course, so you get like all qualifications and stuff, but there's so much written work. And again, I was like, I don't want to do any written work. Like, I'll do the 6-month course, hopefully that'll be enough, and if anything, it was more than enough.
Really?
Like, yeah, it really was. Like, I don't have any qualifications. Like, I do, I'm a qualified makeup artist, but like,
you don't have a degree.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have a degree. Like, I literally have a certificate.
Yeah.
And no one, like we were saying earlier, no one's ever asked me for it. Like, no one actually even knows. Well, I do say I'm a Delamar graduate, so like on my CV and stuff, people see it, and it's quite a highly recognised academy.
Yeah, if you need to give like an official document or an official like accreditation to someone, they can see that you are qualified.
Yeah.
But with the sort of work you're in, I can imagine it's a lot to do with word of mouth. Like, you work with people, you have a good experience there, they're going to recommend you to someone else, and it all just snowballs like that. Yeah. Which I'm I don't know, that might have been how it's happened already.
Like, I got, I was on a ladies' team for, do you know the brand Reese?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I was on her team for Reese Fashion Show. Last year? Maybe the year before, actually. I don't know. And she put up on her Instagram, need makeup artists for this fashion show. I was like, oh God, you know, like I've only been out, I'm fresh out the academy, like I'll apply anyway, because why wouldn't you? Just see what happens. There was only 4 of us. So out of all the people that must have DM'd her, she just looked at my Instagram page, saw what I could do, and thought, yeah, brilliant. So she just said to me, like, I said, like, do you need to see, like, any certificates or anything? She was like, no, I can see your work. Like, I know you're good, so that's fine. That's literally it. That's all people do. Yeah. If they just look at what I can do, and they know I can do it, so that's fine.
So you had no experience at that point, like professional experience?
I think I'd been on like a couple of sets, not even big ones. I'd never done a fashion show before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's wild.
Well, that just goes to show that your Instagram is like your CV now.
Oh my God, yes.
Absolutely.
I'm always pushing my social media. I'm quite like, hot on it. Always. Yeah. Social media, always.
And what does that involve? Does that involve grid posts and stories constantly?
Yeah, I'm always, if I'm at a job, it's on my story. And I know that can, like, some people are like, oh, you shouldn't be worrying about that. But like, people are seeing I'm working. Yeah. People know I'm like out and about. Like, I just feel like it's so important. And I'm always getting content. Like, I've got a TikTok page as well. But like, I just post silly little things. I just feel like it's, people see it and they think,
it's good to put yourself out there.
Yeah, always. People see it. They see what you're doing. They know you're like, so important.
Yeah. And then I'm guessing all those stories, when people are like, well, why bother doing the stories? They can then become your highlight reels, can't you? So,
and that is essentially like my portfolio.
Yeah.
People see my work on there, even if it is just on my stories, all in my highlights, and they're all like named and stuff. You can see what I've done, who I've worked with. It's my online portfolio / CV. And yeah, some things I'll put on my stories that I wouldn't necessarily post as a grid post, but I do constantly post grid posts too.
Yeah, and I think
Bit
it's
of
important as
everything.
well for people to see that you're in high demand as well. Like if you're doing stories of you being on jobs, then people can see, oh, Jess is getting onto these sets, so I want her for my next project.
That's
you know,
exactly
it makes
how it
you
works.
look like people want you. You know,
Literally, yeah,
which
and
makes other people want you.
Exactly that. And people now you can like stories, can't you?
Yeah.
People are constantly liking my stories. Like, I not necessarily makeup artists I've worked with, but ones I've followed for a while that are actually like fairly big. Like, I'll follow them, and then like maybe a couple of weeks later I'll see that they followed me back, like because I'll like their stories or something, and then they'll start liking mine, and it's like they're seeing me, like they see me and what I'm doing, like they're liking my stories. People will like reply to them, like. I feel like it's so big, Instagram, and that I constantly push it, and I feel like that is kind of how I've got into this so quickly, because I push my Instagram so much, and people see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And like you say, they
It's
want
so
you too.
interesting.
the biggest thing I think we hear from the young, well, like the teens at the dance school, is when we question them, like, where is your talent? Like, where is it on your socials? Like, because it's not that they're not active on socials, it's just they don't post their talent ever.
Yeah.
And their argument is always the opinion of others and the backlash and the darker side of it. And I guess, I don't know, maybe there is, maybe I'm just not in the makeup world, so I wouldn't know. I feel like you'd get more negative comments potentially about if you're singing.
Yeah. Like I was just about to say, like it's more personal when you're posting yourself, isn't it? Like I'm posting pictures of other people. Like
it's your
it's
business.
just my work. Like it's not like they're going to say anything. Well, they can say horrible stuff about my work, but it's not a picture of me. Like,
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
You're probably more cautious about what you post on your personal page or whatever.
If I know, I can sort of understand where they're coming from in terms of like insecurity, because you are posting what you're singing, you're dancing, your image. So I don't feel as much insecurity posting what I post, because it's not about me. Like, it's not personal.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I totally get what you mean. But I guess, like you saying how it's that's really got yourself out there.
Yeah.
Your craft, in a way, is the same as someone who really wants to be a singer.
Yeah.
So I totally get it. I get it that, you know, you're saying you're basically one step away. You can take the criticism on your work because it's somebody else.
Yeah.
But I mean, what would your advice be to those ones who they are as passionate about being a singer, a dancer, whatever, as you are now about becoming an even more successful makeup artist?
Yeah.
Is there anything that you can remember from being just those couple of years ago where you maybe felt that way?
Obviously, like, people of a younger age are always going to be insecure, because social media now is kind of terrible, really, isn't it? Like, it's awful.
Yeah.
But you have to get over that, because it's so important. If you can just push through those insecurities and just not really care what anyone thinks. And it's hard, it's easier said than done, isn't it? Like, you can say that and people are like, yeah, but at the end of the day, like, I don't want to, so fair enough. But if you can just push through that, you should really, because it is so important to be able to show your skill and what you can do and stuff. So yeah, I know it's sort of like a bit of an eye roll, like, yeah, you can say that, but if you can, I just push through it and don't care what other people think. And again, easier said than done. But
I think people naturally find it easier once they've left school, though.
Yeah.
As soon as you get past year 11 and you leave school, you don't have to see these people every day.
No, and who cares what people think?
Exactly. So I think after that, you can choose where you go to college, if you even go to college.
Yeah.
You can then decide what you're doing with your life. You don't have to see the same old people who are going to make your life miserable if you post something that they don't necessarily approve of or whatever. So I think it's a natural occurrence that people maybe will feel more comfortable posting stuff when they've left school.
Yeah.
I think it's the fact that they have to go into school the next day. Do you know what I mean? Like, posting a video
And face whatever backlash.
and then going into school and like knowing all these people have seen it. Like, if someone says something to you, it can be a bit like awkward or embarrassing.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely. No, I totally get it.
Yeah.
We had someone, my friend James, on a couple of weeks ago, and he he did musical theatre at school, but it was so like completely out of the ordinary back then. Like we didn't know anybody else that did it, but he was like a guy doing it at school, and he did get a bit of backlash. But then when we went into the assembly and watched him perform, he then got like ultimate respect from everybody. So it's almost like you're saying, like if you can push through it, and if you can show like just show up for what you think you're good at,
believe in yourself.
People will see that and they'll be like, okay, well,
fair dues,
fair play, let's leave them alone, guys.
Because obviously I did the song with you, and I went into school, and some people were like funny about it.
Were they?
Yeah, just because it was just like, it's just something, isn't it, that like you put out there, and it's like some people will like it, and loads of people were saying to me like, oh my God, Jess, like this is amazing, well done. But then those few people that actually probably were horrible to me before that anyway, so it's not like that made a difference. They were the sort of like not making jokes, but like it just find it funny, but like it's
probably a jealousy thing.
It does come across as jealousy, doesn't it? I know everyone says, oh, they're just jealous, but actually when you're that age, I actually do think a lot of people are like, I wish I could record a song and put it on Spotify.
But you know, I remember being that age and hearing grown-ups say, they're just jealous, and I used to eye roll that like that is such a lame.
Exactly.
Now it's so true, because it's definitely, everybody has, I think, a level of jealousy. Everybody, and I think it's that obvious. Yeah, there are those girls or boys at school who probably like, oh, that's
because
really
they think
annoying
it's really cool though.
Because
they think it's really cool, and they're like, oh, I want to do that.
Yeah. So,
why does she get the opportunity and I didn't?
It is. It's pure jealousy.
Yeah.
With that, the Reese lady who dropped into your DMs, was that the first like, oh my God moment for you?
I think so. Yeah, because I think I'd only done a few tiny little bits. So yeah, I think I do remember that being the first like, oh my God, like I'm going to a fashion show. This is so good.
How did you feel walking in that day?
Were you bricking it?
It was, the thing is, it was also at about 2 p.m, so I was quite nervous because I'd had the whole morning to like build it up in my head. If I'd got up really early and gone, it probably would have been a lot better. But yeah, it was quite nerve-wracking, but also really exciting. So kind of didn't really matter that I was nervous because I was so excited.
Did you know what the job entailed, like what you were going in to do?
Kind of, yeah. In my head I did, but also had never done one, so it was just kind of like anything could happen, but kind of knew that it was going to be a bit of like a crowd room experience where we're all, so there's all the hair and makeup artists. That was just makeup, that wasn't hair and makeup. So for something like that, it was on such a big scale that they had 2 teams. So that we were just all in this one room, like tables everywhere, makeup artists just set up next to each other, and then there was just people coming in, get them done, get them out. That kind of experience. So I kind of knew it was going to be like that, and it was exactly like that. So but
how long did you get per model?
I think you kind of just, they was basically be as quick as you can, but there was no like,
but do it until it's done sort of thing.
Yeah, literally.
Wow.
Gosh, it's so that was exciting. So since then, I mean, obviously you would be here till Christmas if you probably went through everything, but top like few moments that you've had or jobs that you've thought, this is amazing.
I'm going to talk about 2 different scales. Oops, sorry, Mike. Because, so...
Who's Mike?
When I first came out of Delamar, I was sort of doing a few little small bits for a while. And then I think the reason I sort of picked it all up so quickly and where I am now so quickly is because... a lady called Hannah Sorsha. Shout out. Yeah, shout out to her. She was looking for a makeup assistant on her Instagram, and I texted her and I said, hey, Hannah, like, we'd never met. I didn't know this woman at all. I don't even think I knew what she looked like because I don't think she posted herself. Like, full whim that I was just messaging this random lady. Hello, like, I'd love to assist you if you're still looking for someone, whatever. By the time she'd seen my message, she'd already found someone, but she said, I'll keep you in mind. A few, maybe days, or was it maybe a week later, she messaged me again and said, hey, Jess, I've got another job come in. Like, are you still interested in assisting me? I was like, absolutely, yes, please. So I assisted her then for 3 days on... it wasn't a huge thing, some brand drinks campaign thing. I assisted her on that, and then she sort of just kept me coming back, like sort of basically whisked me up and took me along with her on all these incredible, huge jobs that I've now done and had the opportunity to do because I've been on her team. So in terms of that sense, I'd say the Gap. Have you seen the new Gap advert, the linen one with Tyler, the dance one?
Oh yeah.
So I was on her team for that.
Yes, I saw your socials. Yeah,
we did all the dances for that. So I was on Hannah's team. She was like the makeup designer. On her team for that, and that was literally the most incredible day. We had so much fun. It was, unreal, the most unreal experience. And because that was like actually an advert, it was like, this is so crazy.
Yeah.
And then actually coincidentally,
That's it.
God, I was in London yesterday with Harry, and we were walking down Oxford Street and past Gap, and there it was on this huge screen on the front of the store. And I was like, Harry, I've got to take a video of this. He was like, Jess, you're embarrassing me. I was like, no, look.
Yeah, you have
I was standing there filming it. It was like, obviously I was only on Hannah's team. Like, she should be like incredibly proud that that was her job. I was only on her team. So for now, that's like a small win for me. But yeah, eventually I can't wait till I'm sort of at her level.
Yes.
Because for her, that must be like so unreal.
Yeah.
So yeah, in terms of that sense, probably that's a pretty big moment for me.
Yeah.
But in terms of like my own little wins, I did a brand campaign for a makeup brand called By Ellie, that she's like sort of a big small business. Does that make sense? Like, she is viral on TikTok.
Okay.
Insane.
Okay, right, yeah.
Like, but just sort of not in stores.
Sure.
Basically, that's it, really.
Like an online business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think she's been, I think it's been a couple of years now, but in COVID, she sort of launched the business. So roughly around the same time as me, really, that we've been like sort of going. And so I used her stuff and I tag her in all my posts, like at By Ellie, I used this today, or whatever. She sees it. She, like reposts it or whatever. And that's sort of like, wow, exciting, like a brand's reposted my thing. But never would I ever have imagined that then she would message me and be like, hi, Jess, like, would you like to come and create some social content with us? I got the message because she DM'd me on her private account, not on the business account. On her private account, I was like, Ellie, who's that? I don't know who that is. Tapped on it, saw that this was Ellie, founder of By Ellie. I was like, oh my God, what is going on right now? Messaged me to do that. And then before I had a chance to do the social content with her, she messaged me a few days later and was like, Jess, my makeup artist is cancelled. I've got a shoot on Monday. My new campaign, like my new lip glosses are coming out. Are you free? I was sitting at a train station and I was like, oh my God, yes, I am free. I will be there. Please sign me up, because what an incredible opportunity for me to do on my own. Like, I wasn't assisting anyone. I was there on my own. It was the most incredible day, like, ever. And when all the images came out, like, it's just mind-blowing.
So it was all just you?
Yeah, literally, I was the only makeup artist there. Like, it was my job.
Wow.
It was me on my own.
When was this?
Yeah. That's a good question. A couple months ago.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, a couple months ago. Not like ages. Maybe February? Yeah.
My God,
Yeah,
that's
so
amazing.
the fact that she'd like messaged me on Instagram and just said like, can you come and do some content with us? I was like, this is incredible. So yeah, that's probably my own personal biggest win so far.
Yeah.
Is doing the brand campaign for By Ellie, which is a makeup brand as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you can
Huge.
obviously do campaigns for like other things, but this was makeup, so the key focus was the makeup, and all the pictures were of their faces. Like,
there's one job that you've had that I thought would come up, which is why it's really interesting me to know what the experience was like. The Brits.
Yes, that was absolutely incredible.
How did you get that?
Hannah. So I was on Hannah's team.
The one that did the Gap?
Yeah, so Hannah was makeup designer. She was head lady. Like, yeah, it was her job, essentially.
Was it just for Jungle?
It was, no, all the backing dancers.
Oh, okay.
So Hannah did Jungle.
Okay.
And I assisted her. I was in the room with her, but sort of she did them, essentially.
Okay.
I was there if she needed any help. But then we went upstairs where there were 3 other makeup artists. So we joined them, 5 in total. And we did all of the backing dancers for the Brits. Wow. It was incredible. So I was on Hannah's team. She was like head makeup artist, and we were there to help her smash all the dancers out, essentially. Yeah.
So when you're backstage at the Brits, like what is going through your head? Are you like...
Oh my God, me and the girls were like, there was a curtain and there was a little slit and we were like peeking through it. We could see all the select, because they were rehearsing all day. We could hear them all day. And like you'd hear someone singing and be like, oh my God, like that's Ray. Like she's actually there. Like how close. Yeah, it was incredible.
Were you working all day or did you get any chance to meet anybody?
Didn't meet anyone.
Right.
And if I had walked past or... whatever anyone, I wouldn't have been able to like
fangirl. I guess.
Yeah, 100%. And I wouldn't anyway. But yeah, didn't meet anyone. Just sort of saw people from a distance. And all day, no, it wasn't all day. We didn't get there till I think our call time was like 3 p.m. So did jungle first. The backing dancers were quite tight. Actually, we were like really having to work fast to get them all done because they were just sort of like had loads of other things to do really. But I think we had a few hours with them. Yeah.
Professionalism is well annoying, isn't it? When you think about it, because I've had so many moments. Like I remember being stood like 10 feet away from Margot Robbie, and I was like,
God.
I have to say something, and I couldn't.
I know.
You just can't.
I know.
Because they're not there to see you.
Yeah, I know.
You're there to do a job.
Yeah, I know.
So it's so frustrating though, isn't it? Because you're in that moment.
I know.
You just want to say something.
The only one I saw in any close proximity was Rob Beckett backstage, the comedian.
Okay. Did he present it this year?
He did one of the awards because they have so many. No, so Maya Jama.
And she hosted the whole thing.
I think a Capital Radio and Roman Kemp. Yeah, Capital Radio host and Roman Kemp were like hosting, but then they have like celebrity guests do like the awards, don't they? So I think he was one of those, and I'm pretty sure I walked past him just as he was sort of like getting ready to go out, or maybe he'd just come off. But yeah, so that was.
So you didn't get to watch any of it. Were you like backstage?
We watched Jungle.
Oh, you did.
So we did them all. They were sort of like all getting ready to go out, like hyping themselves up and stuff. And so we went down with them, stood. You're essentially under the stage. Yeah, I think we were under the stage. Like they're in front of that big Brit wall where you might have seen people take pictures there before. It's just a wall with all like the Brit Awards on it. They were taking photos and like warming up and stuff. Went out, they went on stage and we went into like this front pit. So literally like the stage is here, there's like a little pit and it's just all crew, and then from here onwards is where the audience actually starts.
Okay.
So we were in a little section where it was just all crew.
Amazing.
And we got to watch Jungle do their performance. I think we were there a little bit before and a little bit after, but we didn't watch anyone else like sing or dance. But that was pretty cool. It was unreal.
I think that's when I'm always following your social stuff, and I was just like, Shaun, like
Jess is backstage at the Brits, and I was like,
felt like a proud mum. I was like, look at her, she's
It is amazing though.
That was incredible.
Seeing somebody figure out what they want to do and then seeing them absolutely smashing it.
Thank you.
It's just so nice. And obviously you're at the beginning of
it's so like weird that obviously I am talking about all these things because I feel like I've only been doing it 3 years, and like what I've done like is incredible, but also is still quite small. I feel like I am very proud of myself, but also so much to come.
It's a very short amount of time to be dropping names like Gap,
Well,
the Brits,
and I look toward like in the future when you come back to talk to us and you're saying that you've then got assistants and like they're working for you.
I've had a few messages.
Have you?
I have, from like people that have just graduated who maybe don't know that I've only been doing it 3 years, because they'll just see like, this is the makeup artist that did the Bailey brand campaign. So they've messaged me like, hi Jess, if you ever need an assistant. And I'm just like, oh my God, how cute is that?
That is lovely.
I know, it is
full
so nice.
Thing.
It is unreal.
Yeah.
If you had anything, so if there's anyone at the school, for example, who thinks, if they listen to this and they think, I've always loved makeup.
Yeah.
What would you say is the most important thing for them to do to try and get into that industry?
It is hard to do it. I didn't know how to get into that industry without Delamar telling me how to.
Okay.
So they sort of like prepped me for that side of the industry in terms of who I need to contact, what I need to say, how to be on set, like all these little things. Essentially, Delamar taught me how to do.
Okay.
I guess,
It sounds like a good course then.
It was incredible, but like obviously...
They literally give you everything to like build a career out of it.
Yeah.
Better than uni.
Yeah, 100%.
Just for people who might be like, is that achievable for me? It's something you pay for, isn't it?
It is.
Was it on a scale of like uni to something that you can kind of fund yourself? Is it? I mean,
it was incredibly expensive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my mum, thank you so much to her because she funded it, and I wouldn't have. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was like an intense 6 months course, right?
It was intense, and I think it's the best way to do it. But it might not be achievable for everyone. But there are other things you can do. Like, you need the skills and you need the mindset, and that's it. Like, if you can do makeup and you're passionate enough about it, then really you just need to push yourself and try to get into it without having to go maybe to somewhere like Delamar.
Yeah, for example, if you say in a couple of years' time and you've been doing this and you're getting like more of your own jobs in, say someone contacted you and they didn't have the Delamar certificate, but they from their Instagram you saw that they were capable.
Yeah.
Surely
you'd just look at their work. I wouldn't care if they'd not, where they'd been. If they were good, they're good.
Well, there you go, everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Contact Jess in a couple of years.
All these assistants direct messaging you.
Yeah.
Do you have any like ultimates of I'll know I'll make it, I've made it if I...
Yeah, like a goal.
My goal is, the route I'd quite like to go down is red carpet, celebrity. That's the side I want to go down. While keeping the production-y stuff, I'd quite like to do sort of every now and then, like, because they're sort of good little money-making jobs, kind of, But really, I would quite like to do celebrities, red carpet. That's where I want to go with it.
Are there any celebrities you have in mind that you're like, I would love to do their makeup?
I think because I watched their show, I'd quite like to do Billy Fairs or Sam Fairs.
Okay.
I absolutely love them. They're like, not even just to do their makeup, like without that, I just love them as like people, influencers.
And they're in this country as well, so that's already easier.
Yeah, hit me up.
Shout out.
I just love them. I don't know, have you seen their shows or anything?
I have. Weirdly, I am a sucker for reality TV.
Yeah.
I love
They're from Towie, right?
Yes,
yeah,
and they
that's
are.
when they started.
I knew that. I watched the very very first series of Towie when they were like the ones to watch.
Yeah,
and I just love reality TV for the escapism. Like I find that at the end of the day, that's what I want. I want brain dead. I don't want a plot twist and 50 million characters that I've got to remember their names. I just want to watch people's lives.
Yeah.
And I find those two especially so inspiring.
I know. It, like, you watch, because Billy now does it on her own.
Yeah.
And you watch it and she is running around after her kids. She's doing the washing. She's making the food. She's cleaning her house. Like, you are watching her in real time be a full-time mum while also having this incredible career that she's got, like, her line with Asda, George.
Multiple businesses.
Like, incredible. And she could so easily have someone running around doing that all for her, but she doesn't, and I think that's incredible.
Yeah. It's the show that I sit down and feel really relaxed, but at the same time I'm like, I need to get up and make another business. Go and do some more work.
Do you want to ask the big one?
Yeah, I can do. I mean, it's a weird one to ask a 20-year-old because you're...
Well, it might change between now and the next episode.
Right now, what do you believe you were made for?
Something creative for sure. And I love this so much, what I'm doing. I do think that it's crazy that I might have gone into musical theatre because I don't think I was made for that. And I'm so glad that I found this because I do think that, this is what, like, I was made to do, sort of thing, But, it's
That's
hard.
great.
Yeah.
It is so inspiring to just see somebody doing what they love. Like, and I'm assuming that, has money ever kind of been like the driving force?
No, I didn't even know, like, because you can't even really look that up because like makeup artists are self-employed. Like, you earn whatever you put
and you
in.
can charge different amounts, right?
So I never even really knew like how much a makeup artist earned, really.
Yeah.
So no, not really.
So it's purely for just the enjoyment of it.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that too. Oh, Jess, thank you so much.
Thank you
and
for
I feel
having me.
like this is definitely part 1.
people are invested now. I feel like, I'm invested, so I want to know what happens in the near future. So we need to get you back on.
And we'll put, because we've got like a playlist on our YouTube channel of each of our guests where people can see. So we'll put like the Gap advert and all stuff like that. But is there, on socials, like where is the best place that people can kind of follow your journey now?
Probably on my Instagram,
which is
Jess Bonwick, MUA, BONWICK.
Perfect. Amazing. And if anyone is listening to this, hopefully, remember this name and remember this face, because I think your future is so bright, Jess, and I cannot wait to get you back in this seat in however many years.
Yeah.
And be bigging up your own makeup empire or whatever you're doing then. But just keep being you, because I'm not surprised at all that you're doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thanks for having me.
And come back and teach for me.
Yeah.
So there you have it, everybody. I hope you enjoyed listening to Jess's story and how it's merely just begun for Jess.
Yeah, make sure you go. Do you mind?
Almost killed the dog.
Make sure you go and follow Jess on all social platforms. I think she's one to watch.
One to watch.
Absolutely.
If you're watching makeup artists,
watch her.
She's one. No, we see big things in Jess's future, and I think we will get her back on one day to talk about her journey.
Might not be able to afford her.
Maybe not. Yeah, maybe not. She'll be big. She'll be too big for us one day.
She'll be on Diary of a CEO with her own makeup empire.
You see, you Stephen Bartley.
Like,
you keep your hands off her.
Remember where you started,
right?
Jess? Yeah.
Yeah, we made you.
No, we didn't. We absolutely didn't. Remember, guys, a new episode drops every single Wednesday.
Every Wednesday on your chosen podcast platform. So yeah, thank you again for listening or watching if you're on YouTube. We will see you again next week. Love you very much.
Aw.
Deuces.
No,
Is that what they say?
No. Don't ever do that again.
Thought I'd try it. I was trying something.
See you again next time on
What Was I Made For? Deuces.
What Was I Made For is a Reynolds Studios production.